Going to talk more about object properties and how you can use this to improve your drawings. For example, in this situation, I have an A3 format and one of these rectangles needs to be with a thick line. So I can select this, go here into my properties panel and change its thickness here to 0.3, and I can deselect this, and then I can also check this line weight to be visible, and now I can see that my rectangle here has changed its thickness and it's a lot more bold than the other lines. Now, to demonstrate another way of changing the properties of different lines, objects, I created these squares here, and I want to, instead of using the individual property panel here, I want to use the layers panel here. And the layers panel will help me to use different line types, so different properties on each group. So for example, I may have a group of objects that only need to be thick, so I'll have a thick layer. I may have a group of objects that needs to have a dashed line, so I need a layer for that, and all of the objects in that layer will have that certain property. To be able to start working with the layers, I have to give the layer command, and a dialog box will appear. This dialog has already one layer on which I created all of these lines, and if I want, I can change the properties here. This light bulb is if I want to show or hide the layer. I can freeze the layer, I can lock the layer, I can make it available for print or not, I can change the color, I can change the line type, and I can change the thickness of the line and many more things. But we can concentrate on how to create a new layer. We can right click and select new layer. Now we can name our layer. For example, we can name this layer thick and enter. And I want this layer to be with a continuous line type, so it's continuous, but I want it to have a certain line weight, this 0.3 here, and OK. I can see this thick mark here. That means that I am working on layer 0, but I can double click the thick layer, and now I'll be working on the thick layer. To make sure I'm working on the thick layer, I can change the color. So let me change the color to red. Okay, and I can close this. And when I close this, the layer list doesn't delete or anything, it just hides. And now let me create a line and snap to this corner here and snap to this corner here and enter. And as you can see, my line is of a red color and it's thick as I selected. Now if I draw another one, enter to repeat the last given command, you can see that it doesn't matter what I am drawing, as long as the layer is active, I have the same properties for that specific object that I am drawing. Not even if I use the spline command, for example, I still have the same kind of line type. So line weight is thick and the color is red as I selected. To bring back the layers table, we just type the layers command again. And we can create as many layers as we want. So let's create a new layer and we'll call this one thin. And we'll set the color to blue. It's okay to be continuous, and then the line weight to 0.09. And double click to make it active. Close this. And when I create a line now, this should be thin and blue. And also a circle, for example, should also be the same thin and blue as the properties that I selected from the layers list. Usually we require multiple layers to work on the drawings in engineering graphics, and I created a couple more, and I'll change the line types wherever necessary. For example, for the axis here, I need to change the line type, and I'll have to click on load and search for a dashed dotted line, or I can choose the center too, which kind of looks the same. Click OK, select it and click OK again to apply. Then the hidden lines must be also with a thin line, but they need to be dashed. So I'll have to load the dashed line type and select it. And the hatch needs to be continuous and needs to be thin. Also the hidden lines need to be of a thick line weight. Okay. And these are the layers that I usually need in order to create engineering drawings. There will be other layers required as we move on with studying this subject. If at any time I realize that I made a mistake, currently I am on the thin layer, and I made a mistake that maybe this line shouldn't have been on the thin layer, shouldn't have been on something else. So if it should have been on something else, I can select it, then click on the active layer. So this is the active layer, the layer on which this object is. And I can click and select, for example, another layer like the hidden layer. And now my line here is on the hidden layer positioned. However, the problem is that I can't see the dashed line. It's dashed, but it's not there. So I have to use the LT scale command and give it a value of, let's try 7. And now I can see the line type clearly. Let's repeat that and give it a bigger value, 10. Now I can see it even better. And basically this is how layers work. When we are working with section views, we usually have a hatch pattern, and that is why I created this hatch layer, and I gave it a green color, and I double clicked on it to make it active. So when I give the hatch command and click inside enclosed shape, tap enter, it populates that area with the hatch pattern. And if we give the HAtCHEDit command and tap the hatch pattern, a menu comes up and we can select what type of hatch pattern we can use, and especially we can select the scale. For example, let's place the scale to 15 and click OK. Now you can see that at 15, at this zoom level, the hatch pattern is visible. So this is what we want. We want to change the scale as much as possible so that we can see the hatch pattern at the zoom level we are at. So I am zoomed out into my A3 format here, and I need to see that this hatch pattern is the way it is because of the fact that I can distinguish from this what kind of material my part is made out of. For inserting text, I usually use the MtEXT command. So give the command MtEXT from the keyboard. Now select the first corner of a bounding area where the text will appear. So let's select this one here. And now I can select, for example, all kinds of things related to position and height of text. So I'd like my text to be center positioned at the middle of this square here. So I can tap the J key and tap enter, and then M for middle, C for center, and enter. Then tap H and enter to select the height. I'd select the height to be 7 and enter. And now click on the top right to finish the property settings. And now I can give my text here. I can type it in, and then I have to click outside of the bounding area here. And it placed my text at the middle position on the horizontal and on the vertical, and it has a height of 7 as I set it during the command, and the command has ended. And this is how you use the MtEXT command, and this is very useful also to align the text properly. To dimension something, you can use the DIM command, but it's a lot faster if you also use next to it an abbreviation for what you want to dimension. So for example, if you want to dimension this horizontal line, you can use the DIMLIN command and tap enter. So dimension a line, and now it's waiting for me to click on the ends of the line. So this here and this here, and then I have to click here to place the dimension. And you can't really see the dimension, and it's on the hatch layer, but if you zoom in very close, you can see the dimension. It has 4 decimal places, and it's through the dimension line, and we have to customize that so it displays properly for us. And we do that using the DIMSTYLE manager. So give the command DIMSTY, enter, and this is the DIMSTYLE manager. And notice a preview here of our dimensions at this moment, how they look like when they are placed. and we don't want it to look like this. We want it to look different, so we can create a new custom style here. So click on new, and it will be based on the standard one, and we'll call it custom. Click OK, continue. And now we have to set our properties in order to make it look like we want it to. So here in the symbols and arrows, I'd like the arrow to be size 3. And in the text tab, I want the text size to be 3.5. Notice the preview changes as I insert these options. The text placement should be above the dimension line, should be aligned with the dimension line. On the fit tab, I have to check both text and arrows. Place text manually, draw dimension line between extension lines. And in the primary units tab, I have to select here the precision to 0 if I want to see only whole numbers. And once I am satisfied with my settings here, I can click OK and close out of this. And as you can see, nothing happened to this. And if I give the DIMLIN command again and click on the ends here, nothing happened either. Except for the fact that it changed, and now I can see the dimension and I can see the arrow and everything. And usually I create a special layer for the dimensions as well. So let's do that right now. Layer, enter. Let's have our base layer to be 0. Right click, new layer, call it DIM, and double click to select it. Should be continuous. It should be with a thin line, so 0.09, and we can let it be black, and we can select this dimension here, go to our layers panel and select it to move it to the proper layer, and tap escape. And if at any time I want to have this change in any way, I don't like the size of the text or the arrows or anything like that, I can edit them through the dimension style manager. For example, here I realized that the dimension value is in a box. I don't want that. So I give the dimension style command and click on modify. Make sure I'm on the text tab and uncheck this draw frame around text option. Click OK and close, and it applies the changes right away to the dimensions that belong to that dimension style. Now I want to dimension this arc here that I created. So I'll give the DIMrAD command, tap enter, click on the arc, and all I have to do is position my dimension, and that's it. Okay, so let's dimension this chamfer here. So give the leader command, then click somewhere else to create a line with the arrow. Hold the shift and click once more, then tap enter, then write in your dimension 4 times 45, and then I'll have to write in %d for the degree symbol. Tap enter and enter again, and here is the chamfered edge dimensioned properly. If the leader doesn't look as we expected, we also have a leader style manager, which we can call. And in this manager here, you can create a custom style in which to edit the appearance of the leader line and make it as required by the engineering graphics rules and conventions. Also, another edit that I can do is from the annotation tab here, and I have my standard text style. I can change it, and I can change, for example, the font family to be something different depending on what I want to do. I may check like a technical font, for example. And once I apply this, the font will automatically change. And this has a certain relationship with the dimension style manager and also with the leader style manager. This is the part we will be working with for this practice drawing. And it has a few features that require a specific type of projection, like we have to do an offset section view for this one. And for that, let's talk about the components of this part. So it has a base plate with a cutout here, which is rounded, and it's through it has a channel. And in the upper part here, there is a vertical wall, which is rounded. And here we have a large hole with a diameter, and inside there is a smaller hole that goes through, as you can see here. And this is the part we want to project. Let's place some dimensions on it. So as we can see, it has the dimensions here that they are not too large, so we can fit it onto a A3 size paper, or we can also try to fit it on an A4 size sheet of paper. When projecting this part, we have to imagine a cutting plane going through here and another cutting plane going through the middle of this, exactly through the center of these holes, because they are slightly off center from each other. And as seen by the green planes here, this is how the part will be sectioned for our projections. In this situation, we have a part that requires a offset section view, and we'll have a front projection, which will be the section view, and a top projection, which will be a plane view. So what I did here was I calculated the empty space to draw the rectangles. I need to know the empty space between them. And I started to insert them for A and B for 3 rectangles. So I got to the point where I approximated A to be 20 and B to be 65. But I think at the beginning we'll start by considering 2 projections for now. So the equation will be slightly different. Let's see how different it is. As you can see here, the width disappeared from the function, and the overall result got increased to 50 for A, and B is unchanged. This is my layers list, and I created a new layer on which to build the rectangles for the projections. And since I have A and B all calculated, all I have to do is move my coordinate system, UCS enter, M enter, and click here to move it there. And now I have to start my rectangle tool, rectangle enter, and give a coordinate of 50 and minus 65. To have my rectangle here, and the length is 80. So at 80, comma, minus 50. Now I'll move my coordinate system again here, UCS enter, M enter, and click here. And the other rectangle is at 65 towards the bottom. So rectangle enter, 0 comma minus 65. And now I have a length of 80 again. So at 80, comma minus 40, and enter. And the minus 40 is because of the width here. I would like to start working on my top view first. So move the coordinate system, UCS enter, M enter, and click on the bottom rectangle here. And in my layers list, I want to make this rectangles layer to be of a grayish color. And also I'd like to go and make my thick line layer active, double click on it and close this. And now I have to see my part here is overlapping practically the whole rectangle. So I'll give the rectangle command and click on the opposite corners to have this. Now I have some axis lines here and here, so which reflect the positioning of this channel and the positioning of the 2 holes here, the concentric holes. So switch back to the layers list here and go to the axis layer, double click to make it active. Now I have this channel here which is at 27 from the top, or if this is 40 is at 13 from the bottom here. So if I have my coordinate system position here, I want to create an axis which is 20 millimeters, add in the 3 for the radius, and then the extra 3 millimeters to the right and 3 millimeters to the left, so that we have the whole like axis line. And to do that, we'll have to draw a line, an axis line, which is 23, 26, and 29 millimeters, starting from outside here with the 3 millimeters outside. So give the line command. Remember, we have 3 millimeters outside, so -3. And the y is 13. And now towards the right is 29. So I can tap my ortho here, go like that. So F8 and then 29 and enter. And I have my first axis line here, tap enter again to finish. And since this is like a arc here, I have to have another axis line, which will be here to denote the center, which is at 20 from the right. But I will also want to draw like a axis line which is 6 millimeters in length, but also 3 in the outside. So that means I have to draw a line which is 6 plus 3 plus 3, so it's 12 millimeters at 20 from the left. So give the line command, and now for the X I'll have to give it 20, and for the Y I have to give it 6. And so now I have to give it another at 0, I'm at 12 and enter, and tap enter again to finish. This is my axis line here. And now I can create my channel for this, but also I need an axis line here for the two holes here. So this is a length of 20, and it's in the middle, so not like this one, it is a bit higher up. So let me give the line command and snap to the middle here and give it like that, 23, and tap enter again, and then click on it, grab onto this grip and give it another 3 from the keyboard and escape. And these are the axes for my top view. And in my front view, the axis will be this one will also go here because of the corresponding views. And this one will be somewhere on top at a if this is 20 in diameter, or rather if this is of a radius of 20, that means it's either 20 from the top down or 30 from the bottom up. And so to draw the axis line in the top view, I'll have to give the line command and start from this point here. And go like that up till I want to go perpendicular, so PR, and click here, tap enter. So I managed to get the correspondence. Now all I need is an axis, which is, this is 15. So I need 15 and also 3 towards the top. So line again from here and tap 18. Tap enter twice, select this one and delete it. I no longer need it. And then I want this to be 3 millimeters longer on the bottom part here. So I have this axis line, which is in correspondence with this one. And also I need an axis line somewhere around here. So I can move my coordinate system, UCS center, enter, click right here. And now I'll give my line command, and I need to go downward for 20 millimeters and to the right 3. So this means that I have to go 3 on the X and minus 20 on the Y, and make it a length of 26. Tap enter again, and this is the other axis that is required here. I don't need any more axis at the moment. I'll place the UCS back onto the top view here. And now I have to switch layers again and draw the rest of my thick lines. Give the layer command, switch to the thick line layer, goes out of this. And I need another line which will be the thickness here, which is 20. And since this is a whole object, I'll explode it. And now I can offset this individual line by 20. Here it is. And enter. And now this channel here, if this is the radius of 3, that means that it's 60 millimeters in width. So I have to offset the line. So I can draw a line here that overlaps with the axis line. Draw a line here and then offset that by 3. Offset 3, click here and click here. And after that, I no longer need this one, so I can delete it. I can create a circle with the center here and a radius of 3 and trim it here and here. And also I have to trim this part here to be sure that I don't forget about it. And this is the projection of the channel. Now I'll have to work some more on the top, on the front projection here. So I'll move my coordinate system, UCS center, enter and click. And I'll have to work on so when looking from this side, I have this base plate here that I have to project 15. So let's give the line command and go 15 towards the top. There it is. Then I'll have to go like that. How much? Well, if I have 80 here and this is 20, I have to go 60 to the right. Then towards the top, I have to go perpendicular to this. and click a few times to finish the outline. Tap enter. And now I have to think about what's going on here. I need a offset section view, so I need to draw the trace where the cutting plane cuts through the part. So to do that, I'll move back to the top view here. CS enter, M enter, click. And I'll have to extend these axis lines here. So extend, double tap enter. And go and tap the ends of the lines here. And tap enter. And now somewhere along here, I have to place like a line where the planes offset from each other. So give the line command, and then NEA enter to get the nearest point here, for example, and then get the perpendicular on this one, enter. And this is not on the proper layer, so I can click on this and go here and move it from the pick layer to the axis layer. Now I can trim the extra axis. So TR, double tap enter, click on this one and this one to finish the cutting plane trace. So this is where the plane cuts through the part. Now I also have an edge here, so I have to draw a line in corresponding views here, and that a perpendicular there. Tap enter, trim that. I only need it there. And it should have like 3 millimeters here between these. So if I give the dist command, how much is it from here to here? And I can find out in the command line, X is 3. That means that that is the right dimension that it should be there. Let me continue with my trace here. I'm not finished yet. So let me extend this with say 10 millimeters. So not that one, but this one. Like that. 10 millimeters. And also here I need to extend this as well. Okay. And I have to place the special letter here that will denote the cutting plane, and then I have to label this view as the resulting projection. So right here I will begin by switching my layer. I'd like to be on the dimension layer for this one. And I'd like to create an arrow with a thick line on top. So I'll do that with the polyline command. P line and enter. And let's click here. And then this should be of a certain width. So W enter 0.5, enter, 0.5, enter. And now go like that for 10, add 10, comma 0, enter. Then change the width again with enter, 1, enter, 0, enter. And add 3, comma 0, enter. I have like an arrowhead. And again, I'll change the width. So width, enter. And I want 10, enter, 10, enter. And I want that to be at 0.6 and 0. And tap enter twice. And I want this sign to be attached here, and I'll have to rotate it. So rotate this from this part. How many degrees? 90 degrees. And I'll copy it. Rather, I'll move it. So move, enter, select it, enter. Then I want to grab hold of this being, it's a very thick line. So I want to grab hold of the mid portion of it there. And I want to place it on the end here. And you see it's in the middle. And now I can also copy it on the other side. So still with the middle. On the other side here. Click and enter. And now I have to place the letter. So I have to give the MtEXT command. Click once. Give the H for height and enter. Let's see, tab 7, enter. And then click somewhere here, and I'll place an A, capital A here, and place it right next to the arrow. Copy this, and I'll have to place it to the next to the other arrow as well. I don't want to snap to anything, so F3, and try not to snap to anything. Okay. Let's turn that on again. Okay. And also I have to get this on top here. So get this A and copy it. Control C, Control V, and place it somewhere about the middle of this view, and double click on it and place the cursor there and the -A. Click outside to give it the label there. Since the cutting plane goes through here, that means that inside here I'll be seeing some edges that belong to these two holes here, the phi 20 and phi 10. And so I'll have to offset some lines. So offset by 10 once, twice, 3 times. And since this is 20 and this is 10, and this has a radius of 20, that means that I have to go here and delete this at first, and then think about how much does that 10 mean. So the 10 means 5 towards the top and 5 towards the bottom, or it may mean 5 offset from here and 5 offset from here. So I'll offset 5 from here and from here. But also that diameter of 10 is not all the way through. It's only 10 millimeters deep. So I'll have to offset this 10 millimeters. There. Okay. And now I'll have to trim some lines to get the final outline. So trim, enter twice. Then I'll have to, so the smaller hole is up to this point, and then I'll have to trim this and this one here, and also this here, and here, and here, to get the, and also, let's see, I'll have the trace coming through the middle. So I'll see this edge, then one vertical edge and one horizontal edge. So this edge, one horizontal and one vertical. So this one is not there. So my dimensions check out. So this is the inside smaller hole, which is of a diameter 10, and this is the outer larger hole of diameter 20, and then there is the outer part, which is of radius 20, and that is derived from this dimension of 40 here. I split that into 2, divided by 2, and found the radius of that. And now I have to hatch, so give the hatch pattern around, but I have to first move to the hatch layer. So switch to the hatch as the current layer. And after that, I will draw a line. This line will be from this edge and will go through and be perpendicular to this. And this is to denote where the offset of the cutting planes takes place. Now give the hatch command, enter, and click here. Enter, then give the HAtCHEDit command and tap this one. And here, let me make sure I have my proper pattern selected. And my scale, let's make it 15. And okay. Looks okay, but I'm not done, so give the hatch command again. Click here and here and tap enter. HAtCHEDit, tap on this one, and 15 as well here. But in the case of the hatch pattern, I have to make sure that also the hatch pattern is offset to indicate the fact that there is an offset cutting plane here. So I'll have to offset this against this. Basically, we can select this hatch pattern here and go to set origin and move it somewhere like bottom left. And as you can see, the hatch pattern has been offset to denote the special plane offset. Before ending the projection drawing, we have to trim this line here so it doesn't bother us when we want to dimension, and delete it from here as well. And it's just a small line there, we can leave it like that. Now we have to go to our layers list and move to the dimension layer as the active layer. We can change the color of our hatch pattern back to black. And we can also turn off the light for the rectangles so we don't see them anymore. Now we'll have to start dimensioning the part. Okay, so DIMLIN and click here and here to dimension our overall length. Tap enter once and click here to dimension our height. And here we can dimension our width. So we got the overall dimensions covered. Now we can dimension the radius of this channel with DIMrAD. There. And also we want to dimension this length here. We can either dimension it here or here. So the length is from the left side until the axis line. So we give the DIMLIN command. And we can dimension that here. There it is. We also have to dimension here this length here, this width actually. Now for the diameters, we use DIMLIN and then we go here and double click and right there %% to get the phi symbol. And let's do that again for our other diameter from here to here. And I can either go like that or out here. I may want to take this outside like that. And as you can see, the arrows also point outside. Double tap the text and write in again %% and click out. So I gave the diameters, tap enter. Let me see if I'm missing anything. This 27, I have to give that dimension as well. So I'll have to move this radius out of the way, place it here. DIMLIN, and click somewhere on the axis and put this 27 here, like that. This 15, also I'm missing that 15. DIMLIN. Okay. And we have this 10 millimeter inside here. We can move it outside. We'll move it outside. And we'll move it like that. We'll check to see if we have any other dimensions missing. I don't think I do. So this is the dimension phase ended. And our drawing is quite finished. Now looking back at this exercise, I can see that the overall shape here for the outer rounded edge here is not fully defined in these two views. So that means that we require to draw the third view as well. So to fit in the third view, we'll just have to move everything slightly to the left. So we'll select everything with a bounding box like that and tap enter. Select this as the base point and write from the keyboard at -30,0 and tap enter. So we can make room for the other rectangle. And now go to the layers list here, make the rectangles visible, double click to make them active, UCS enter, M enter to move the coordinate system here. And I require here a rectangle for the side view from this point because this is a European system. So we have a rectangle that will be 40 in width and 50 in height at 20 millimeter distance. So rectangle 20,0 enter. So let's do that again. Rectangle 20,0. Okay. And the add sign 40,50 and enter. And now these kind of overlap, so we'll have to get them a bit closer here, and this one as well. And we'll have to work on this rectangle now, this projection. So let's begin by switching to the axis layer. And we have one axis for, actually this axis here will go like that. So we can say line enter, click on this one and make it perpendicular to this, and then trim it here and delete the excess from here like that. This should be extended 3 to the left, 3 to the right, and from the top down we have like because this is like an arc here, we need two of the axes to denote the arc. So line from the middle downward like that, and click and enter. Oh, it didn't move the rectangle for the front view projection there. That's why this was like that. So extend this line and enter. Go like that with free. Now we can create the three circles. So the first one has a diameter of 10, and the next one diameter of 20, and the next a diameter of 40. Okay, and all three of them need to be moved to the thick lines layer. There it is. This one needs to be trimmed like that. Now we need some lines that go from here to here. Oh, let's switch the layer to the thick lines layer. So we need one line from here to here, to here and back here. This should extend 3 millimeters. We'll take the edge from here and go like that, and then trim it here and here, and delete it from here as well, because we don't need that. We still have the channel here to project. So the channel is, the axis of the channel is at 27. So since I have my coordinate system here, I can draw a line that starts at 27, 0. Let's move that in the proper corner here. So line 27, 0, perpendicular to this. Okay, and this is supposed to be the axis line. And since this is a radius 3, I can offset to the left and to the right with 3. Offset 3. This one and that one. And I can extend this downward with 3 and upward with 3. And also I need to send it to the axis layer. Now I can redimension. So some of the dimensions I can place on this other view now. So I double click to make that active, the dimension layer, and turn off the rectangles layer once again to see the finished part. And I can move this 50 dimension. I can move it here. So from here to there is 50. And I can also move these two diameters, this one and this one, DIM, DIA, and it will also place the diameter sign, and tap once more to get it again and place it here. I have the two diameters. And now the drawing is fully defined. I just have to extend this axis line here with 3 millimeters, like that. And I'll have to be careful because that got extended too. From here to here. There you go. Maybe I can also move this dimension a bit. Doesn't quite overlap with the axis line. And this A, should move this a bit towards the right with, say, 5 millimeters. And then move this ID. So move, select this arrow and the text, MID, and place it on the end of that line. There it is. Now it's much more neat and tidy. Let's send the UCS back. UCS, double tap enter. And this is the finished drawing.